Satia, who is the CEO of IPSA, began her career in security 30 years ago, starting out on the front line. Since then, Satia has played a significant role in various key organisations. She's also well known for her voluntary work as a member of the Security Skills Board and is chair of the Security EDI Forum. Satia is also a committee member of the LGBT+ Facilities Management Network Group. Satia joined us to chat about her passion for the private security industry and some of her notable achievements. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your career history and highlights.
My career history is quite significant. Started on the front line 30 years ago. I'm very proud of that in the retail sector. And I moved my way up to various roles, store detective, manager, director, and then I started on that leadership ladder and have had various director roles, strategic leadership roles, and worked for some of the biggest names across the private security industry. So always the progression has always been from one role, what's the next step? And I'm really, really happy that it's my career has gone that way. I can sit here and say to you that I'm passionate about the private security industry because it's enabled me to have the most incredible career, starting right at the grassroots, at frontline level. Some of my career highlights, Ella, now you're asking, there are so many to draw on, but I think that I reeled off various roles that I have had. The frontline role will always be special to me because it enables me to continue to be connected and engaged and remain close to our frontline community because they are the heartbeat of the private security industry. And to have that role and the joy I had doing that role right at grassroots levels was quite significant. I used to wear my uniform with pride, and then when I go out and meet our frontline, they connect with me, they engage with me. They're like, wow, Satia's talking our language. She knows what the role entails, the challenges, the ups, the downs, and the highs and lows. So. The front row has set me up on a career path that I'm really proud of. The highlights, International Women's Day again, 200 people, and having my partner at events is quite significant. Sorry, it's emotional for me. I have never been able to do that in the 30 years. I can now do that, and that's me being my authentic self. So as soon as I was able to do that, another highlight was when I was able to be my authentic self in the workplace. It just liberated me, and the freedom of how I am with you now and how I will head back home and spend that quality time with my mum and my dad. It's just me. This is the same person, and I want to empower every single person that is in that industry with that gift.
IPSA recently hosted an event for International Women's Day. Can you tell us more about the event and your experience as a woman working in security?
Although we have International Women's Day and people were doing things in pockets or silo and so on, I thought, actually, let's bring the industry together. If we really want to make a difference and bring more women into the industry, because there is a huge gap there, then we've got to celebrate the brilliant women together and also learn from their stories. They shared some incredible stories at this event, Ella. Honestly, it was quite an emotional room. There were many teary-eyed individuals that shared their journey, what was important to them, spending quality time at home, discussions around menopause I've never had. Now, we're openly saying that what getting pregnant in the workplace means, and, just being paid right, and the long shifts that exist in the industry and so on. So all these people came together, they shared the great news they had, and then equally they shared that, look, these are the challenges that we had. So that event at the Meta offices, Facebook offices, it was quite significant, and we're making history when we do these things because they've never ever been done before, Ella. And I wanted to bring culture. I wanted to embed culture into that event. And for the first time ever, we had Asian caterers, we had halal food served, we had very famous female DJ that was celebrating the day with us. She's a member of the LGBT community, and all the things that we put together. And then we had Punjabi dancers and music and etc. I wanted to put on an event where I wanted the industry to see there is so much more to our people, and I wanted to share some of my culture, what's important to me and what I enjoy. It's a movement that started 4 years ago, and it's just growing and growing. There's, like I said, there's always lots to do, but the ripple effect I'm seeing of what we started with a small movement is overwhelming, and all I can do is thank the incredible community, the private security industry, my colleagues, for supporting and coming on that journey with me.
In 2022, you gathered the security industry to march at London Pride. Why was it important for the sector to be represented at the event?
It was quite significant. I by that time I'd been to a couple of Pride events, and the overwhelming feeling that I had of togetherness, family, when I went to a Pride event, and joy, and the faces was, I thought, and I looked, and it was I was in the Birmingham Pride. I thought, I want to share this. I was almost like exploding with joy. How do I get other people to have this wonderful sense of community, togetherness, and celebration, and everybody's just on an equal level, and then I thought, okay, and I looked back. Look, they've got security officers everywhere, that are protecting the people and enabling the Pride to go ahead safely and sensibly and joyously. And I thought, okay, but when that is it, that's where it stops. Our involvement stops. So I thought, I came away, I'd done some research in terms of where are we involved in other aspects, and that was it. That was the moment. There was nothing for me to look at, to draw on, and I thought, okay, I want to start this movement. Let's start this. Let's see if we can actually be part of the parade. Let's walk along this parade, because if I feel like I felt for 25 years I wasn't able to be my authentic self in the workplace, I thought, how am I going to answer this to my nieces or my nephews and all the wonderful colleagues that work around me? I thought, this just does not feel right. And I just didn't want anyone else to feel like that. I want everyone to be their authentic selves and the best versions of them in the workplace. And that pride piece enabled that. And I thought, who can I turn to around within the industry in terms of who's like me, who's part of the community? And I really didn't know nobody then. So once I started the collaborative piece and started to talk to leaders and key associations and key stakeholders, there was a gap, and everybody embraced it. And the first one was 2022. It was a huge success, supported by everybody that I approached, and they felt that feeling that I had. I could see it in the face of over 200 people. We were in the parade. It was post COVID, and it was a 50-year celebration. So it was more than just our first, and I think it was the first industry collaboration of its sort, and that's 164 year history. We had never ever done anything like that. So to come together and start that, and then empower others to feel like that, and then other members of the community, it was almost like, Satia, thank you so much. People turned up with their children. They'd never ever been to Pride. They'd been living, in fear, not coming out in the workplace. Now we've got role models. Now we've got network groups and etc. So it was almost born out of a desire for sharing that joy and a desire for, there must be other people that must feel like me that are out there. And how do you share, that when you are in that silo situation? How do you share when you are the minority in a situation? How do I talk about openly that this is the type of weekend I had, and this is where I attended, this is what's important to me? And it was a desire to share that and educate and bring people on a journey, and it's just been quite remarkable. And we have built an excellent relationship with the London Pride team, which I'm really grateful for, because they are fantastic.